So, war has technically been declared by the President of the United States on another sovereign nation. And this is why I absolutely loathe tribalistic political systems and culture. Food for thought. Now, one of the central features of the United States presidential system of government, which, by the way, has been the hallmark and the standard bearer for democracy, has been the notion of separation of powers. Now, separation of powers means that the powers entrusted in each of the three branches of government to carry out their mandate are limited, because these powers also operate as a check on the powers of the other. In other words, it is designed so that under the principle of majority rules, which is one of several principles of democracy, each branch must have the support of another branch to carry out certain decisions and acts. This is to ensure that no one branch of government overstep their boundaries in the exercise of their powers against the will of the majority. The forefathers of the separation of powers always knew that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, as it is in the nature of man to become more self-driven as he gains more power over others. Now, here's the thing. Despite the safeguard that is in place to limit the powers of any one branch, this can be circumvented by tribalistic political value system. Political tribalism really refers to a strong, often unyielding loyalty and solidarity to a particular political group, party, or ideology, much like the loyalty found within traditional tribes. Now, this phenomenon often leads to an us versus them mentality. Sounds familiar? When we operate within such a system, a president or prime minister can recruit persons that are loyal to him and his cause in key positions and offices in other branches of government. By so doing, he is then enabled to overstep his executive powers through the actions of persons in these offices who often claim to make decisions in the best interest of the majority. Now, under the US Constitution and the separation of powers arrangement, the president can deploy forces to anywhere in the world, but only Congress can declare war on another country. But this has been done today because the president has the full support of those who have the power to execute such orders, literally. Now, in Jamaica, we do have a similar case of separation of powers amongst the three branches. But because we operate under the British parliamentary system, there is more of a fusion of power, especially between the executive and the legislative branches. Also, the Constitution of Jamaica, which is the supreme law of the land, has given great powers to the Prime Minister, insofar that the Prime Ministers under our system of government is even more powerful than the Prime Minister in Britain, from where our system of government was adopted. And the result of this is that the Prime Minister is who is actually supreme. and not the Constitution or even the legislative branch, which is Parliament. So I want people to understand the dangers of tribalistic political systems. Amongst the many evils of tribalism are, for one, what we call reinforced identities. Now, this is where political affiliation becomes deeply intertwined with personal identity, leading to emotional responses when one's political views or group are challenged. There's also what is called echo chambers and polarization. Here, social media and other platforms can exacerbate political tribalism by creating environments where individuals are primarily exposed to information and opinions that confirm their existing beliefs, further isolating them from any dissenting viewpoints. And finally, there is susceptibility to manipulation. This strong group loyalty can make individuals vulnerable to leaders who exploit tribal instincts for their own purposes, often by defining a clear outgroup to unite their base against. In essence, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, political tribalism moves beyond just simple ideological differences to a deeper, more emotional attachment to one's political affiliation, often hindering constructive dialogue, critical thinking, and the ability to address common challenges effectively. I want you to think on these things. Bless.